So President Trump just declared on Truth Social that the United States carried out an overnight attack in Caracas, Venezuela. He said that President Maduro and his wife has been captured. So what does this mean? Well, honestly, right now I'm going to put this out very quickly as things are developing. So we don't know what this means, right? And so you're about to get a view into what happens really within an intelligence office. So what's happening at US Southcom right now are two things. One is some chaos is going on, but understand, this has been planned for a while. Some sources are saying that this was supposed to be planned during Christmas. This was supposed to be carried out during the Christmas Day festivities. But look what happened during Christmas Day were the attacks on Nigeria. So what we're seeing a pattern here of using U.S. holidays, very large-scale holidays, to do things by the Trump administration, whether it's to declare that things have happened or to actually carry out those activities. So Christmas Day was supposed to be this large-scale operation, but due to weather and due to other factors that played a part, I'm sure, weather's a big factor that plays into this, right? If the conditions are not set perfectly, especially special operations forces, they will decide we're not going to do it. Apparently that's what happened in Caracas on Christmas night or early Christmas morning when this was supposed to be carried out. So they went with the Nigeria strikes instead. Now, you could talk about, were those strikes in Nigeria successful? What did they accomplish? That's not what this video is about. This video is about what just happened in Venezuela. But really what you came here for is the intelligence of what happens next. So let's go through some known knowns, right? In the intelligence community, you have known unknowns, known unknowns, and then we have your unknown unknowns, which are a lot more difficult to discuss. But your known knowns here are that the United States military with special operations forces carried out an overnight operation to strike certain facilities and to carry out a capture with law enforcement of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro based on a 2020 narco-terrorist legal ramification, right? So what we have here is the United States declared President Maduro a narco-terrorist. That gave Trump the ability to, if he wanted to, carry out a legal raid in order to not kidnap, maybe not even go as far as to say capture, but to arrest Nicolas Maduro. And so this is what Trump has said he has done, but that is one of the known unknowns here. Now, as this video comes out, we may have more clarification here. President Trump has said he is going to, at 11 a.m. Eastern Time in the United States, he is going to give a briefing, and he is going to tell everybody what happened and where we stand here. So you have a known known that the United States carried out this operation, a known unknown that President Trump has said that they have captured or arrested President Maduro. We haven't confirmed that yet. We'll get more confirmation as more evidence comes out. Another known unknown really is what happens next. So we know that the current administration in Venezuela have called on the people to take to the streets. What does this do? This gives the U.S. less flexibility to come in and change the regime. And that's what we've talked about since the beginning of this, that the United States wants to perform regime change within Venezuela. This is the start of it. It becomes much more difficult if the people do rise up. Another unknown is, will the people rise up against the United States, or are they going to rise up against the Maduro regime? Now, the Maduro regime is not as popular as he would like you to believe it is. Venezuela's economy is in collapse. Their oil reserves are being depleted. The United States is taking oil from Venezuela, which is affecting the economy even more. And so what we are seeing here is this battle between the current regime in Venezuela and the people who are suffering. So are we going to see a Gen Z uprising like we see in Iran? More on those Iranian protests in future videos. So if you like this video, if you find value in this video, because we do not give you the headlines, we're actually going to dig deep into what is actually happening, and we are going to be honest and give you actual actionable intelligence on what is happening, why it's happening, and what it means to you. So if you appreciate that, like this video, comment your thoughts on what you think is happening in Venezuela. I'd love to hear what you think is going on. That's how the intelligence community actually puts out information, right? It's not what Hollywood would have you believe, where it is one covert analyst doing all of the work of the entire agency in order to make things happen or to put out information, right? It is a group of people from all different backgrounds with different ideas and different thoughts who put the information together and come up with what they believe is the best assessment, right? You'll have analysis of competing hypotheses, right? So different assessments that will do that. That's what we try to do here. So that's a long way to say, please comment your assessment, your analysis, and let's do an analysis of competing hypotheses and see where this goes. But as I was saying, where do we go from here in South America? The United States, through this, I would say, has basically declared war on the Maduro regime. So that, yes, Maduro may be captured. He may be arrested now on his way extradited to the United States. That does not mean his regime is gone. The United States is still going to, if they want to put a new regime in place in Venezuela, one that is more friendly to the United States, they're going to have to do that by force. That means they're going to have to take out the current Maduro regime. And I do think that is what's going to happen. Within the next 48 hours, the United States is going to declare a new regime in Venezuela. The old Maduro regime is going to fight back against that, and there are going to be clashes. Now, whether those clashes are going to stay internal or whether or not we are going to see U.S. forces on the ground continuing to fight for this new regime, that's yet to be seen. That's an unknown. We just don't know if that's going to happen right now. Now, obviously, the Southcom commander has been given multiple courses of action. I guarantee one of the courses of action is putting U.S. boots on the ground, but that is a high risk, maybe high risk, high reward course of action, and they're going to have to make that decision. What is best, not just for U.S. troops, but for the United States as a whole. So that's one thing. Will the United States put boots on the ground in Venezuela? The other is, will Venezuela retaliate? Well, they have to. If the Maduro regime is calling for people to rise up within Caracas and fight back against whatever this new regime may be, then they're going to have to send a message to the United States. And to do that, they're going to have to attack somewhere. Now, the big thing here is who comes to support Venezuela. We've talked plenty of times about how China, Russia, Iran, they are all allies to Venezuela. They all rely on Venezuela economically in some way, and Venezuela relies economically on them in some way. But each one of these countries is dealing with their own uprisings, right? So Russia has its own war that it created in Ukraine. Iran has an uprising of Gen Z protesters, revolutionaries who are taking it to the regime there. And China has thoughts on an invasion of Taiwan. So there are a ton of moving parts here. This is definitely a 4D chessboard. and Trump just made his first move. So what's the next move? Do we see Iran getting involved in this? Possibly. So I'm going to stick with possible. You almost heard me say probable there, but I'm going to stick with possible here. And the way that they would do that is by sending Shahed drones, supplying their military with munitions. Russia could definitely get involved economically, but they've got their own issues. I bet that is unlikely. But the probable player in this is going to be China. So keep your eyes on China, what they are going to do, and more videos like this will come out. So if you like this one, subscribe, like this video, and definitely comment. So what I have seen is a lot of people watch. We have a lot of people who are not subscribers who watch these videos, but not too many people comment, maybe because I'm not saying anything outlandish. You agree with what I say. If you agree, put something down there. If you disagree, definitely attack me, come after me, tell me where I'm wrong. I do appreciate that. It helps me figure out my own analysis, and let's have that conversation in the comments. So that's all I've got for this one. This was definitely, as you can probably hear, very unscripted. I saw this happening and I said, well, let's take this moment to make a video here. So if you appreciate that, know that I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who's watching this. And as I always say, and even more so now at the end of 2026, stay safe out there.